welcome back to Getting to Green. Today we're going to be doing some small refactors. They're going to help us out with just as we go forward with the entire app and our testing. So just kind of wanted to get it out of the way. This should be a pretty short video, but and I'm going to try making some chapters out of this. So let's see how that goes. All right, let's dive into it. So got our code open up, and see, the first thing I want to do is routes. So go to our routes, web routes, right? And something that we can do is we can create named routes. So we can actually just say name this, and we could do, I like to put something in the beginning there, like whatever it's working on, so to do or user. And this is to complete it, so to do dot complete. All right, and for the create to do, we're going to do name to do dot store. Usually, whatever the method name is, I like to keep that as the same thing for us, right? So if we run back to we'll save this, go to our to do test, and we want to do the features. This is our first to do. We're going to post here, but what we can do here is do a route and give it the named route. So this is to do dot store. All right, so it reads a little bit nicer. It was smaller before, but this is better for us in the long run, because if we decide we want to change this endpoint to something else, whatever like that, this doesn't change. So in our app, we don't have to worry about the actual URLs, which is really nice. So here we have our route store. Let's just test that one out on its own, and we should still get green, and we do. So that's a great refactor. Let's go ahead and change all of these. So we could do that, add that in there. So route to do dot store, and enter that around that one as well. So now all of these are going to our route store, and let's see, what do we have? Is there anything else validated to do? This should be, yep, yeah, that's the creation. We have here, we have a different one. So this is our patch. We're going to do, this one is a route, and that's going to be to do dot complete. And let's PHP unit run file. Let's see how we did. So we have one error. Let's see. We're missing a parameter. All right, awesome. So that's actually right here. We need to pass in our parameters like so. That's going to be just the ID of 1. Let's try it on its own, see if that passes, and it does. We have a little squiggle here. I don't know why. We're pulling it in. I think my editor is just kind of being weird. We'll fix that in a minute. But yeah, we could do it like that. We could pass it in as an object. So we could do not an object. This isn't JavaScript. We could do to do ID is 1. Right? I think this still works. Pass it in, and it does. So right here, that's what we're creating. So to do ID. So if we passed it in as something else, invalid ID, right? That doesn't exist. So we're going to be missing that. See, it fails. So this is a really easy way to, this is a nice way to pass in our variables, because it makes it very clear what it is we're sending in. And we will use this in our actual app when we get further down the road. So we'll change this back to do ID, and I like that. So run all of this together, and we got to green. So that's our first refactor. For the next part of this, I want to look at our tests at the where we left off with the validation stuff. I want to clean this up a little bit. So if we take a look at our test here, our to-do test, if we go to the very bottom, we see this block of should succeed, we do this, and if else, we have all of this stuff, right? But I want to have this somewhere where I can reuse this for later tests. It's going to be something that we're using constantly, right? So let's go take a look, maybe moving this out so we can import it other places as well. So I want to just comment this out, and let's go to test case. This is a class for our tests, so we'll make assert has validation error. And this is going to take our response, a field, our error message, and it's going to take a status. And we're going to default the status to 302 for now. And I think a message, we won't require it. So I'll just default it to null. So the first thing we can do is response. We can assert status is equal to that status we passed in. So let's go take this into here and we'll try it out. This assert has validation error, and we have the response, we have our field, and we have our error message. And it should be a 302, so I'm not even going to import that right now. This is our test here, and let's run this for now. Okay, everything's working. So let's just comment a couple of these tests out. I just want this first one that's failing so that we could focus in on here. And if we run back to this, what I'd like to look at is actually testing what's returned for us. So we want to make sure that the response also has session errors. Assert session has errors. Now this is something that Laravel provides also. So we're going to test if this has that field as well. So we're getting 3 different assertions. That's good. I think status does a couple of things for us. All right, so those are both working. Now we want to check if we include that error message. Let's see. So this assert equals our error message, and within our session, I want to check the errors bag, and I want to get out of that our field and the very first error that comes along with that. So if we check this now, we should see it's passing, and we have 4 assertions. And I just want to prove this a little bit. The title is required. The to-do title is required now. That's going to be our error message if it fails. And we can see we are testing for that. These are not here. So what I want from this is that when we're testing the error messages, I want to make sure that the error message is what I expected it to be. If I'm changing the everything around within, let's go here. So to do requests, right? Down here where I'm returning different custom messages, I want to make sure that those are actually what's getting returned. So I made up, this little bit to help us, which is right here. We're just checking the session error bag, and just to kind of double check you. If you're doing the work, might as well make sure it's working. And to go along with assert has validation errors, let's make sure we have one that assert, it's missing validation errors. Right? So this is going to be very similar. We're going to have a response, our field, and it's not an error message. We're going to have just a regular message. And again, it's just null. So we're going to check. So this assert false, and we're going to make sure that the session and in there the errors bag does not equal, does not equal null, and the session errors bag has field. So what we're doing here is we're checking to make sure that the there are actual errors before we're checking to see if it includes what we're looking for. If either of these return false, this is going to pass for us, right? All right, and then what we're going to do is we're actually just going to pass that message in again. And if we don't include the message because it's null, let's just make some generic thing that we could pass in. So there was an issue with, we'll do field, right? So this is going to give us the message we pass in or just some generic error message for us. So this is the passing version. So let's go back to this passing one. And we'll come down here and we're going to use this now. So we're going to assert is missing the validation error, response, and we want to check the field and our message, which we're actually getting from the error message, right? So let's check that out. So if we run it now, oh, we are getting some errors. Unexpected token. It's probably, yeah, forgot my semicolons. Yeah, we're getting a pass. So it didn't have that error within there, which is nice. And this is more evident when we are validating a multi-field input, right? Because if we're checking a lot of things at the same time, we want to make sure that the one that we're actually focused in on doesn't exist, right? There could be other errors, and that doesn't prevent us from running everything else. We are honing in exactly where we want to be. So this really helps for us. If you wanted, you can add this assert okay, right? And this, actually, I think it would be under the response. And what that would do is just give us another check. And it's checking for a to-do. It got a 201. A 201 should be okay. I thought the status is accounted for 201s, but we'll do assert status and a 201. We could add it in the top as well. But now we're getting I've got 2 assertions for this. So those are our, those are just a quick little cleanup that we have. As we go forward with our API and stuff, there might be a little changes we do here and there, but this is going to work for us, I think. So, well, if you learned anything from this short video, leave a like, maybe consider subscribing. And if you learned anything, consider leaving a like and subscribe. If there's something I'm missing or something that you want to learn and you're looking forward to in this series, please leave a comment below. I'll read them. I'll take a look at them. And maybe we can integrate them into this lesson, because I want to make sure that I'm teaching you guys what you want to learn. And we're going to be jumping into the front end very soon with V-Test and possibly even Cypress. So stick around for that. There's going to be a lot of Vue JavaScript stuff coming up. This is really just the back-endy side of things, so it takes a little bit of finagling. But I think we got something pretty good here. All right, well, we'll see you in the next one. Cheers.